Kim on Celebrity Spotlight.
Hey, Lee Newton, so great to see you. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing fantastic. So much going on with you always. 4 more days, a
Always.
brand new album. Tell us about Homesick coming out.
I'm so excited. It comes out July 20th, so 7:20 on 7:20 a.m. that morning.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put a little twist on it, but no, I'm so excited. This is my first country release since the Unleashed album.
Right.
I released my Crossroads album last year, my gospel album. So this is my first country album, and I actually went with a new producer
Mm-hmm.
who actually is Dolly Parton's longtime producer of almost 30 years. So it was pretty cool to get to work with him, and Dave Fowler co-produced it, and I am just so tickled with every song on there. I love the title of it. I went back and forth till I found the right one, and Homesick is one of the tracks on the album, and it just seemed right to name it Homesick.
Yeah, I mean, I love the title track, which is great. Carolina Rain too. Tell us about Carolina Rain.
Carolina Rain. Oh my gosh, I released Carolina Rain January 1st, New
Mm-hmm.
Year's Day. And I'm telling you that if just going by what Carolina Rain has done, it's still going strong. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it has been played all over the world. It's been up for 4 different awards, two of them which will be held at the Grand Ole Opry House.
Right.
The video itself has been played on the American Country Network, which was super amazing because I was in Bakersfield when I got to witness and watch the debut of it getting to be played. And Carolina Rain is just so special. I heard this song about 2.5 years ago, I'd say.
Right.
Dale played it for me. This is one that I did not write, but
Right.
everybody thinks I wrote it
It's
because
almost
it's so.
autobiographical about your career, pretty much, right?
It
It's like an
is.
autobiography, really.
I was able to change a few of the words. Talking with the songwriter because I'm really good friends with him, both
Mhm.
of them. But I was like, well, can I change these words to really make it my own?
Right.
And of course, Tommy Barnes said yes. But the first moment I ever heard this song, I was in tears. Um, and I'm like, this song, I've got to record this song. I don't know when, but it will be on an album. And so
Absolutely great. Love it.
it took me about 2 years, Jimmy, of singing that song without crying before I finally could record it. Because I mean, it chokes me up.
Mm-hmm.
It is, like you said, it's so autobiographical to me.
Mm-hmm.
But what's wild about it is this song has seriously touched people all over the world, and I think the song just makes you feel a sense of home,
Right.
of being a child and being back home and grow. Just that feeling we all want to feel.
Exactly.
That we always keep down in here, but sometimes songs trigger that. So
Right.
this song, even though, because I was kind of thinking, okay, well, I know everybody in Carolina is going to love it. I want to get North Carolina and at least South Carolina, but
Right.
everybody's just took a fit over it, and I'm so proud of it. Um, yeah, I just can't even keep saying. I mean, it just keeps on going and going and going. So, yeah, I
Right.
love Carolina Rain.
Yeah, and tell us about some of the songs on Homesick that are coming out and putting some of those songs together.
Yeah, so I released Carolina Rain first. I just got through releasing. See, I've gave some sneak peeks of some songs that have not been released yet, but the
Mm-hmm.
last one that was released is a song called "Maybe I Will, Maybe I Won't."
Okay.
And it is a song that was inspired by a post that I saw on Facebook. A guy and one of my friends, Marty Parrish, had posted about losing his wife
Oh, wow.
during COVID, actually
Mm-hmm.
during COVID. and he had posted on there about waking up and she was gone and the paramedics were there, and just it was just I was reading this post and just my heart was breaking. And in one of the paragraphs he said, I know I need to move on, maybe I will, maybe I won't. And instantly that night I grabbed my guitar and I'm like, this is a song. And of course, witnessing Dale go through what he had went through with Angelia and
Right.
other people that I have known that's lost anybody, right. A spouse, a child, a parent, you feel that hurt, because at that moment you're just like, you just don't know if you can just go on, your heart's hurting so bad. And so I pulled from that and just started writing the song, and I had the song wrote within an hour, had my guitar and I recorded it. And so something just told me, because a lot of people, you write songs and you go on, but there was just something about me getting this song from him, like the idea of it, and it being about his wife. I felt that it was the right thing to do, to reach out to him, to let him be a part of it. And I told him I was going to add him as a co-writer on it, just to where it would give him attachment to this song and make it more special for him and his wife that passed away. Her name is Nancy. So, so I've got the song, recorded on the album, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. They added the steel guitar, which is one of my favorite instruments ever.
Yes, me too.
And it's just one of those songs that every time I play it for anybody, they're standing there crying, they're bawling their heads off, and it's just got that emotional song that people can relate to. Right. And we were so excited. I kept waiting because they've been announcing all the Josie nominations.
Oh my God, so many awards for you coming out.
I know, but this one was the very last one, and I was waiting and hoping and praying because I didn't get to submit it before it was released, and even on the album. So I had submitted it for a songwriter achievement, because you could do that and submit the song. And so I submitted it, and we got nominated for Songwriter Achievement Award, which will be at the Josie's.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And that makes 12. So I'm super excited. So hopefully, fingers crossed, come away with one, or maybe another one, I'm
sure you're going to get many awards. Absolutely.
It was fantastic. Very special to be able to share that with him. And like I said, a lot of people, most people, when they write from inspirations, they don't add him as a songwriter, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. Because if I hadn't have saw that post that he made, that song wouldn't have been born.
Right.
So,
wow. You mentioned Bakersfield, and of course you did a wonderful photo shoot there. I absolutely love it. Tell us about the photo shoot.
The photo shoot was so amazing. That's the home place of Merle Haggard, yep. Buck Owens, and so we were staying with family there, Grace and Jim Haggard, and on their property, they have it was just a bunch of cool stuff out there. Stuff that she was like, oh my gosh, that's just junk. But I'm like, no, it's not. I'm going to do a photo shoot there. So I get out there, and I mean, it's 115-degree Bakersfield, hot summer. I'm like, oh. So I get out there in the car, the Lincoln that I did the photo shoot with.
Right.
The Lincoln is actually, it belonged to Merle Haggard. So,
wow.
Yeah. And actually Jim had offered it to my husband, Dale, at one point, but just getting it back home here. But I was like, I've got to do a photo shoot on the car. So.
Love that. It looks fantastic.
But it was just cool. And then their dog, which is Ricky, she is 3 years old, and she came out there and she just posed away. I was like, I've got to leave her in it because it just fit, the homesick. You got, the car, they're sitting on the car, with the dog. And I was like, this is perfect. So
amazing. And I know you just had an anniversary too. It was a year ago that you were married,
yes.
right? And that was a great
Yes.
wedding, of course. Happy
We
anniversary.
Thank you. We had a huge wedding at the Johnny Cash, or yeah, the Johnny Cash farm,
Right.
and we had an open invite, so we had over 500 people come
Wow.
to our wedding, and I mean we had people from China and Japan and England, and we had moonshiners and we had pirates. I mean, literally, you just could. I mean, there was so much love around us, and in the place where we got married, which is Johnny Cash's farm. He
Right.
always called it the center of the universe, and this place is just magical. You just feel like there's just something there. You just feel awesome there. And we've done a lot of stuff. I had my release party there,
Mhm.
and we did our Meet Me Under the Mistletoe video. We shot it there, Dale and I.
Right.
And so for our 1 year anniversary, we were we're actually in Hollywood by that time. We did, but we went to Universal Studios
I
and
saw
took
that.
Little Cash Man. So that was our anniversary, and we wouldn't have had it any other way. We just had so much fun with Cash and ourselves, and acted like little kids. And
Yeah, I mean, I see you've been so many places on traveling, like even Graceland. I know you stopped at Graceland.
we did. Well, what we did is, we have, the Super Chief bus,
Hmm.
which was Merle's bus before he got his last. It's called the Chief.
Right.
But Dale's had it for 4 years, and we took it to California to get it repainted and,
Oh wow.
new decals, give it just a whole beautiful facelift that it needs, and preserve it even more, because of the bus that it is, it's so
Right.
recognizable. Everybody sees the Super Chief logo and they're like, oh, Merle Haggard. But anyway, so we decided that we were going to make this huge trip out of it. And so we wanted in some places that I have not got to see and Cash has not got to see. So we left Carolina, went to Nashville, left Nashville, and headed out on a month-long adventure. We went to Graceland. We went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas to see the Passion Play and the Christ
Wow.
of the Ozarks. We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to Big Cedar Lake, or Tabletop.
Right.
It was in Missouri.
Uh-huh.
We went, a lot of places on Route 66, and just ate and stayed at all these cool little places. And I'm telling you, it was just amazing. So after we went to Hollywood, then we went over to Pismo Beach, and we were not far from where he had asked me to marry him at.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so that was like our anniversary. We stayed a couple of days there, and then the rest of the time we stayed in Bakersfield, like I said, with family, and just had the best time celebrating birthdays, and just kind of Dale started this cool thing that he does, and we've been adopting it everywhere, because everywhere we go, we want to see people. But
Right.
we have so many people that want to see us that it's hard to manage that if we're coming in for a day or two. So he has these things called friends dinners.
Uh-huh.
So we will set these friends dinners up, and everybody comes, and we just, some people might not know each other, but they know each other by the time they leave, because we'll have a bunch of people there at this restaurant, and we eat and we socialize, and that way we get to see everybody.
Right. You were even on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, right? Yes.
Yes. Oh, now that was fun, because we had stayed not far from there, at a place, and I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember the name of the little inn that we stayed at, but inside the inn there was a restaurant called the Turquoise Room.
Mm-hmm.
And the Turquoise Room, literally, they got rid of a lot of the stuff, but it was used to be decorated with nothing but Super Chief stuff.
Oh wow.
That was tied to the Super Chief train,
Right.
and Merle got special permission from the railroad to use that on his
Right.
bus, So
Nice.
anyway, we left there, and of course, it's kind of hard to drive around in a bus. It's not like you just pull over and just park and hop out.
Hard to
So
park a bus. I know that for a fact.
yeah. So the night before it got dark quick, and after we got through eating, I was like, oh, I just don't want to go up there late at night. So the next day we drive, and he goes around the block, and he's at a red light, and I jump off the bus trying to film, do a TikTok, and I'm standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's cool because they literally have. It's it's a made up corner. Like they have built it to where there's literally, just everything. They've got the flatbed Ford. They've got, in Winslow, Arizona, and it's just. I mean, they got Jackson Brown, Glenn Fry standing there with the guitar. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just
So
awesome. That was super, super cool. And I mean, just the whole trip. I mean, I told Cash, I was like, a lot of people, want to do just one of them through the summer. I mean, we knocked out everything.
I know you were everywhere. It was amazing. Cash always looks like he's having so much fun.
And he does. He's upstairs now playing his video game. But he's been around it since he was little. And he loves adventure. He loves history and learning about stuff. We went to the Grand Canyon.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. He loves seeing all these different things, and a lot of stuff that a little kid would not appreciate.
Right.
He appreciates that and appreciates the beauty in it, and just really wants to learn, and he loves music too. That's why, I mean, I take him everywhere. He was in the studio with me when I was recording this album. So he laid right there underneath Dolly Parton's gold records and
That's
platinum
amazing.
records just sprawled out.
Wow. So tell us about the Super Chief. Is there still spiritual activity going on the bus?
There is. There's been a lot of different stuff happen. Merle is most definitely on that bus. That's all I got to say.
Really?
Yes, there's just always lights flickering on and off. Even when I was getting ready to leave, when we was getting ready to leave for this trip, I was out there. Dale had brought it over here to our home because we keep it stored at a place. And so he brought it over here to the house, and I'm over here, cleaning, and I'm walking down there's 4 bunks, and then you can turn to the end of the hall and then go down the hall, and you pass where Merle's queen bunk was. And there's lights up above it, and there's all in that general area. There's always activity.
Really?
Different. Yes. You could be sitting there, and all of a sudden, and we've checked everything. There's no shorts anywhere. Like there's nothing. And it's a weird thing. It's not like it turns on and then turns off. Mm-hmm. It's like it'll come like this and then like this flicker out, and then go back off, and then you'll say something, and then it'll do something like it does weird stuff.
Amazing. Yeah. That's so cool.
The air condition always gets done weird. You'll go, it'll be like it's supposed to be at like 69, something like that. Wake up and it's to the like 74, like what Merle would have it on. Oh yeah, weird stuff.
A lot of history on that bus, though. Amazing.
Lots of history. We had I'm trying to remember what we had fixed on it, but we had took it not far from here because there's another guitar player that has Waylon's bus, and he works on some stuff on buses. And so we had Waylon's bus and Merle's old bus side by side with each other. And when we went to pick back up the Super Chief, and we didn't even say nothing to him about anything. And we went back, he was like, I don't know what was going on in there. He said, but I could hear all kinds of noises going on in there. He says, I didn't even, I just.
Wow. So, I mean, you have so much going on. Also, I want to congratulate you. You've been invited to join the Recording Academy class of 2024 as a member. How cool is that? Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I mean, I could not have done that, without my bestie. And I know you see her and me acting all in our shenanigans. But Catherine Shipley and Amy McAllister, they believed in me enough knowing that how hard I've worked and with my, my body of work and everything that I've done. And they were like, went out and used their letters of recommendation to write to me. And, it just meant the world, because even with that, sometimes you don't get in. And I was like, because you have to, it's an extent application. It's like really long, and you have to show your body's work and what you've done, what you volunteered for, your volunteer work, and which that's not hard, because I love doing stuff. I think I do more things free and for the good than I do getting paid for anything. So that was easy.
Yeah, I mean, so many award shows too you're involved with. I mean, the International Singer-Songwriters Association, the Red Carpet
Yep.
Awards show in Europe. Tell us about
Yep.
that. That's really
And
cool.
the Intercontinental Award, I just got that.
Yeah, I just heard that.
For
Congratulations on
being
that.
a man. And then, of course, there's the ISSA.
Yes, the ISSA.
That one's coming up next month.
3 nominations for that.
Yeah, I got 3 nominations for that one. Then, of course, the big one with the Josie Music Awards, and and this is their 10th year, and I'm just so proud that I've been with them now. This will be the 5th year that I have been associated with them, and I've won every year, and so I'm just tickled to death. I've never had this many nominations.
Right.
So I'm tickled to death. And one of them that means so much is the performance of the year for the JMAs from last year, when I got to perform on the stage of the Opry there.
Right.
And of course, that was a dream come true for me.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, the one in Europe, I mean, that's like, it's insane. I mean, to be recognized, just to get that at a girl, you're working hard. We see you. We see what you're doing. We love your music. That's amazing. And if you win, it's even better. But, just to get that nomination is huge. And, I got to, which I was there's 2 things that was really cool this past year. The first one was getting to co-host the Tennessee Songwriting Association Awards as well. And that was insane.
Really?
Because I actually still got this over here. I ended up getting the great big. I'll have to show it to you here.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool here. I've got it here.
Oh, wow. Check this out. Oh, my God.
So you got Tony Brown. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right.
And of course, I got to be on stage for that. And there I am up there right here. If I can get my little thing.
Cool. There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
So awesome.
And Tony Brown, he's just insanely talented, mega talented. He played with Elvis Presley.
Right.
Back in the day. And then, of course, he was George Strait's longtime producer. But he's produced everybody. I mean, William Lee Golden. I mean, everybody you can think of. Reba. And he's got a new book. It's called Elvis Straight to Jesus.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
I've got it on my coffee table upstairs. It is amazing. The pictures that are in it, the history that he has, you'll have to check it out. It's an awesome book.
With so many amazing people. Not only Tony Brown, you worked with Larry Strickland, right? I mean, he also worked with Elvis too, right?
Yeah,
so many
he sure
people.
did.
Ken Wells who works with Dolly. I mean, you work with the most amazing people on the planet.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the most amazing person that I've ever had the opportunity to be acquainted with, to work with, and be a friend. Mm-hmm. And it hit me really, 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 really hard the other day, is when Joe passed away. And
Joe was such a great guy. He's been on my show. He's been on the show.
Getting to work with Joe Bonzel, and I him and I recorded Just a Closer Walk with Thee from my gospel album.
Yeah.
And he is one. What you see is what you get.
Great guy.
It wasn't like he was just being nice to me to do something, and then okay, I done what I needed to do. Bye, Lee. No, and it's not that we talked every day, but we texted up until even last month. I would send him little stuff about, where I went singing to church, or Cash, doing the little moth and turning it into the caterpillar turning into the moth. I said that to him, or his little talent show. But we always stayed in touch, and he always, like I've said before, he never treated me like I was a nobody, like, oh, he's up here and oh, you're just starting, you're down there. No, he didn't do that with
No,
me.
was a
He
great
was
guy. Absolutely. Yeah.
he was
I met
very
him.
kind.
I met him here in New York when he performed here in New York with the Oak Ridge Boys. And of course, we had him on the show. So down to earth. Very, very nice. He's going to be
Yes.
very, very missed.
Yeah. So what I've done is, as a tribute to him, I've offered a free download for everybody that goes to my website. If they go to the bottom, it'll have a link to take to the video that Joe had made for me and some pictures and our song. And there's a link to actually download the song for free, because I want everybody to hear it. I'm not out to make anything from it. I just want people to hear our song because it was beautiful. And one amazing thing that I remember Joe telling me when he got to the studio, because he was like, first he was honored that I asked him. I'm like, I'm honored that you're telling me you're going to sing with me. And then, because I knew that they were getting ready to be really busy, and I knew it was going to be impossible to try to get the whole Oak Ridge Boys. I would have loved to have done that.
Right.
But something in me just said, ask Joe. I'd been talking back and forth with him, and he was just always so supportive of me.
Right.
And so I asked him, and he told me, he's like, Lee, he said, other than singing with the Oak Ridge Boys, with somebody, he says, nobody's ever asked me to do a duet by myself with him. So I've looked around, but I think I'm the only one that's got a duet recorded with Joe.
Really? Oh, wow. So awesome. I had William Golden.
I wrong, but
William Lee Golden was on the show, and he said some really nice things about you, about Lee Milton.
I love William. I love him so much, and I'm prayers to him. I mean, like, they've just been hit so hard.
Yeah, I know.
So hard. And prayers still for him and Dwayne, and Mary. I mean, and the whole family. Chris Golden, he's super top-notch person too. Their whole family's nice. They're good people. Yeah, and I always sing their praises because they are. And William Lee, at one point, about a year and a half ago, might have been a little bit longer, there was a point where we were talking about doing a duet together. It never worked out. I hate that it did, and I wish it would have. But God has a plan. I always put it in his hands. So, if it's ever meant to be, maybe I'll be able to do something with him down the road. But yeah, he's a great man. Absolutely.
I know you have a big show coming up with Sarah Evans. Tell us about that.
Yes. Yes, that's brought to you by East Tennessee Concerts. And I have done several shows with them. I opened for Randy Travis and, Diamond Rio and a few others. But I got asked to open for Sarah Evans. And I'm telling you, I was like, yes, 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 yes. Because, I've not really got to. I've worked with some of the women like Pam Tellis, and I was on the same event as Lori Morgan, but I've never got to really open up for another woman. I am so excited because I just feel like our chemistry will be great, and I'm so excited to meet her, and hopefully maybe she'll feel sorry for me and let me get on stage and sing one with her.
How cool would that be? She's a great lady. I met her, I think, when she was down here in Atlantic City. I got to meet her, and she was really, really nice. Tell me about Randy Travis. What was it like to open for him, and how's he doing?
Randy, that was another one of my huge. I've got so many huge highlights just these last few years, but opening for Randy was hands down was just amazing, and I'll never forget it. When I got there, because he's from North Carolina too,
right?
And so that was just automatic special. And then when I was doing my sound check, he was actually out on stage.
Was he really?
Yes, like 3 feet from me, and sitting there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Randy Travis is right here. This is how cool this is. So. I sat down, and I was able to sit with him and tell him the story for one of how much my dad absolutely loved him. My dad passed away in 1989, and that's when Randy was hot and heavy. Like, that's when Randy really was hitting it at the very beginning of his
Mhm.
career, like hot and heavy, and with the digging up bones and all that. And I was
Right.
telling him, I'm like, I said, my daddy played you all the time. I said, and I don't have many recordings of my dad or anything, but
Right.
in one of the recordings of myself when I was 7, I'm singing one of Randy Travis's songs and I mess up the words. And my dad, you could hear my dad come in singing the words to me. And he's playing the guitar to get me to finish singing it. It was hilarious because, of course, I'm all nasally and I'm like really, really, really country singing. But it was cute. And Randy was, just sit there and smiled real big, and just made me, him and Mary both made me feel really special. And then after I done my show, Randy and Mary were getting ready to go on stage, and we had already done some pictures backstage and stuff. And I look over and I see my husband standing there with Randy, and I hear my husband, because I'm in behind, and I hear Dale go, "Oh, well, she'll love to hear that." Well, of course, I'm like, I want to hear it now. So
Right.
So I take off, and go up there to him and stuff. And Randy grabs my hand. And so I bend down to him. And, his speech, he doesn't, he wanted to get it out. And he wanted to say it to me.
Right.
And he said, "You done good."
Wow.
And him to say that to me, I was crying. And I said, "Randy," I said, "you just gave to me what I'm pretty sure was equivalent to you being on stage with George Jones at your, when you got up on George, this thing." I said, "You made me feel like I could walk on, clouds, they were just so nice." Even up until because we had the super chief there, they were parked in behind, and they were getting in their vehicle. We were getting in ours, but we ended up talking a few more minutes. But great people, love them.
Randy Travis is so great. I know he just did Wheel of Fortune. I was just watching that the other day, one of the game shows on television.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like he's doing great though.
He is doing great, and Mary. Mary is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He just gives her a look, and she knows. She knows what everything. You just tell they got that love with each other, and I'm just so happy that that he is out there and he's getting to still, for one, be at the shows and do what he does. But like in his case alone.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they were able to do the recording with the AI, and because he's alive and he's aware of everything and he's on top of it. That was something that he could give not only himself, hear himself sing again, because not being able to sing, that's taking away something that your joy, your passion.
Right.
I'm sure that made him feel so amazing, not only with him, but everybody else that heard it. We were all crying when we heard that song.
Wow. Yeah, actually, I think it was Drew Carey's game show that I think he was a part of.
It?
Yes, I just saw a clip of it the other day.
I remember seeing them, and I remember them being on another game show. Maybe it was that, and I thought that it was Wheel of Fortune too for some reason.
Yeah, I thought it was Wheel of Fortune too, but I'm pretty sure it was Drew Carey's. But it's one of those. But anyway, he looked fantastic, and it's so great to see him doing well.
Yes.
Also, tell us how to pre-order your album.
Yes. Okay. So to pre-order it and get a physical autographed hard copy, all you have to do is go to my website, which is LeeNewtonOfficial.com. So Lee Newton Official, LEE Newton Official.com. I've got it in the merchandise, but it is on the very top of the front page. There's a countdown to July 20th, but it says pre-order here, and you can order that hard copy there. And of course, it'll be available everywhere for digital download. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love everything about the album, because this album, I left it into everybody's hands.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people who follow me, everybody sponsored, and there were different levels, but everybody got their name in a special insert that goes inside
cool.
of the album.
Nice.
That helped create this album and help keep it going. Because being an independent artist,
Right.
You have to do everything to keep your music going, and everybody's been so loving with me, and from day one.
Yeah.
Everybody I met, everybody that God has opened doors to use their platforms to help me have, and I only hope that I can do that and give back to others too. I've always, I always want to do that.
And you do that through your music. I mean, of course, and you mentioned your dad, and of course, he was very influential in getting your career started. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, my dad, he was a cab driver, and I grew up in Canton, North Carolina. It's a little paper town. They've shut down the paper mill since then, just last year.
Right.
But my dad was a cab driver there and worked 12, 13 hours a day, sometimes even longer. I think he lived there. But in the summer, I would go ride around with my dad at the cab stand. And so he would have a guitar and he'd have a little recorder, and he was playing, and he loved music, and he named me Brenda Lee. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that was, so he was wanting me to be a singer. And of course, being little, I loved it. I was drawn to it because by that time his health was so bad, he never got out and played ball with me, and we were too poor. I couldn't be like in any sports because he couldn't afford to pay for anything for me to go. We didn't even have a real car. He had the taxi cab, but so music, I was drawn to it, at first, but after he passed away, I turned away from it for a little bit because it hurt. But then later on, when I got in high school, because I was bullied a lot in school and I didn't really have any friends, and so I was alone a lot, and the one solace that I found was music. And I turned to music in my high school years, and my first performance was of Lori Morgan's Except for Monday. I got chose to sing, and I felt something in me from that moment on. I'm like, this is what my daddy was talking about. That's what I want to be, and I knew from that moment on, singing in front of an audience and I felt close to him, but I felt love from everybody else where I had not really been accepted, I guess, because being the poor kid around, you just didn't get friends. But I felt accepted, and I felt, oh my gosh, I'm doing something that people say that I'm good at, and I've always felt joy in singing. And I knew right then there was nothing else that would feel that feeling that I got of being up on stage, and I still feel that way. And but my daddy was my number one top influence. My mama, like I before, she battled her own demons. She was in recovering alcoholic. She went through depression. But she took me to every church possible, so I grew up singing in church and being around, learning about God and what Jesus has done. And I have carried that over into my adulthood years. And my song that's on the album as well, called Mama Said. And I actually just got everybody to send me pictures of their moms, and I put it to that song just to where everybody could hear it, but it's a kind of a tribute to my mom and how I grew up. So I just always want to stay true to who I am, because that's where the real music comes from.
Exactly. He always knew you would do the Opry stage, and of course you have already played on the Opry stage, right?
Well, I played on the Opry stage. I have not got to play the Grand Ole Opry show, but my dad always would, I'd stand up on that wooden coffee table with my hairbrush. Grand Ole Opry be playing, and he'd be like, now, Brenda Lee, you're going to be on that stage at the Opry one day, and I'm going to be in the front row watching you. Well, I never forgot that. Like, that has been my drive. I mean, literally my dream, my drive to be on that stage, to have that moment with my daddy. I know that my daddy is so proud of me. Even if I didn't sing, my daddy would be proud of me. But I know he's proud of everything that I have accomplished. But to be able to go on that stage of the Opry.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it was more perfect because I got to really just focus on being on the stage. And I looked out and, I had front row seats with my husband. And of course, I'm not sitting in my seat. So that front seat was open. And
Wow.
so it was awesome because Matt, Josie's husband, they were getting everything set up because I'm the one that closed out the show
Mm-hmm.
at the Opry House for the JMA Awards. And Matt said, "How tall?" I had my daddy's replica of his cab driver's hat, and
I
his
saw that
badge
on
said,
Facebook. That was so cool.
"Yeah, my husband did that for me for my birthday because my
You had
birthday
the
is October."
badge, right? You had the badge and everything, right?
And the badge says Carolina Taxi.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
And it looked exactly like my daddy's cab driver's badge. And so they said, "How tall do you think your daddy was?" So I was like, well, I was this little, but he's probably, they put the mic stand to wherever they thought how tall he was. And they put the replica hat on there. So I was standing there singing, and I finally got to end that my Carolina song with the right words, because the ending of it says, "Tonight I'm on this Opry stage. I can almost see my daddy's face, proud of his girl from Carolina." And it was amazing. The band that played with me, I couldn't have asked for better people. I had Wendell Cox, who is Travis Tritt's one and only guitar player ever. He's been with Travis Tritt. He came in from Texas to play with me that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I had Joe Reed, who played with Merle Haggard, who is a phenomenal bass player, and I had Mike Rogers, who, if you don't know who Mike Rogers is, he plays with Ricky Skaggs, and he is a part of the Brothers of the Heart with Jimmy Fortune and Bradley Walker and Ben Isaacs. Emerald Butler, my little fiddler player. I love my Emerald. She's played with me at a few shows. She's going to be playing with me at the Sarah Evans show as well. So
cool.
That is the weekend of the award show too for the JMA Awards. So I'll be playing Friday night for Sarah Evans in Hiwassee, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And then the next day, Dale and I are doing a concert together for the Shrine to help the kids. And then we're going to head over to Nashville. And him and I both have got nominations. Even Lil Cashman has a nomination.
I saw that. Congratulations to Paul.
Yes. So it's just, it's been a great year. I'm so proud of just what God has blessed me with, my family, and to be able to keep singing and recording. And he just keeps making great things happen.
Yeah, you went through really tough times, and it's amazing. You came a long way, and look where you are now. It's so amazing with God's help.
This October will be 4 years.
Right.
So, and I've done a lot. I mean, this will be my 4th studio album, and all the people I've opened up with and worked with.
Amazing. You work with everyone.
Yeah, 4 years ago, literally, I had to run from my marriage, basically with nothing. I had Cash, my little boy, 4 years old, on my hip. Had no shoes, just the clothes on my back, and everything was worked out. Everything I had worked so hard for gone. But you know what? That's part of my story. It's not who I am, though. It's made me even stronger and gave me the songs and the strength of a woman. I wrote that right afterwards. And now, just yesterday, I found out we hit 40,000 videos that have been made.
Wow.
Strength of a Woman on TikTok.
Congratulations.
40,000.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's like God all of a sudden was like, okay, now it's time for that. And he sent me a few people that's from big news places to put the stories together and make Strength of a Woman go even further, because that song is just so powerful and helps so many people going through different, adversities in their life, different trials and stuff. So.
Right. And I know you got to be on Bill Cody's show on WSM. Bill Cody's the best. I know you had a great time there. 2 times. I know. Yeah, Bill's a great guy. That's so awesome. I mean, and if you want to get played anywhere, it's got to be WSM, of course, the biggest radio station out of Nashville.
Harley and Kelly Sutton are phenomenal people. I'm hoping that I'm able to get back on his show as well. But I'm getting ready to announce tonight to everybody. But I'll put it on here first.
I know it's an exclusive, Celebrity Spotlight exclusive, right here.
I have been going to be going back on Eric Dawes Rock and Review on Fox TV. I'm so excited. I was on there for my Unleashed album, and I am so excited. August 19th, I'll be going back to Nashville and doing the recording in the studio for the Rock Review for the Homesick album. So I'm so excited. I love Eric too. He's awesome.
Yeah, and of course the Josie Awards, Crossroads, right? So many nominations, right? Is it like 8 nominations?
Yeah, yeah. Crossroads is up for Gospel Album of the Year. Yep. I'm up for Traditional Country Artist of the Year. I mean, it goes on and on. There's so many. I'm just blown away. Dale and I are up for Born to Be Your Woman for the Vocal Collaboration of the Year. Mm-hmm. So. And Crossroads to me is my gospel album is such amazing. A great album. The way everybody came together on that. But what's really cool for me is I have my dad at the very beginning of it singing. I'm on there, of course. My husband's on there.
Dale's on there, yep.
With me with One Day at a Time. And then Little Cashman is singing at the very end of it. So I have... my dad, my husband, and my little boy on this album with me, along with some of the Joe Bonzel, T. Graham Brown, Deborah Allen, Tony Jackson, Kathy Shipley. I mean, it just don't get any better than that. It's just, that album, I'm not saying it because it's mine, but it's just a great album.
Yeah, it is a fantastic album. And so many of those people that you worked with, the Oak Ridge Boys, right? Joe, of course. Yeah. And even Dale was on there, as you mentioned, right? What was it like working with all these great people that came aboard to work with you on this album?
Well, for one, it's amazing getting to work with those artists that have been around and have been so established and have made number one hits everywhere. And they've traveled and they've done stuff. And for them to agree to come and do something like that with you, it just means a lot.
Absolutely.
And it's been really cool getting to work with them when they've come to the studio. Now, there's been some that we've done remotely, like where, Rhonda, when I recorded with Rhonda, her band recorded the track, the Rage, the members of the Rage recorded the track. And then I laid down my part at the studio, and then she came back and laid down her harmony to it. So it was, but we did get to, I got to see her when she came here to Mount Airy, and she invited me to come up, and we did some pictures, and I got to get up on stage with her in Mayberry.
Oh, wow.
And we got to sing, I Saw the Light, which that's a song that we had recorded. So, it was really cool. Sometimes it hits me sometimes when I look down at my phone and I have like messages from these people and I'm like, man, I would have never thought I would be getting all these different texts. Like they'd be on my phone,
Of course.
But yeah, but that's the one thing about it. I don't, everybody's the same, I admire them very much, but I don't get fangirled or anything like that. Now I did on Bill Anderson. I don't know what I think it was because it was the first time I was at the Opry. I was backstage, and seriously, I was standing there talking to Tony Jackson and Dale, and next thing I do, I turn around, and here is Bill Anderson standing there, who was celebrating his Opryversary today. But anyway, I turn around and I look, and I'm like, and he's talking, and I'm just like soaking in. I'm going, thinking in my head to that little girl standing up on the coffee table, watching him on the Opry when I was little with my dad. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Bill Anderson. he is standing here talking to me. Bill Anderson is standing here talking to me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I never met Bill Anderson. I got to talk to him on the phone once, and I got to meet little Jimmy Dickens backstage at the Opry, which was an amazing night.
I bet that was. Oh
He,
my
he was
God.
so nice. What a great guy little Jimmy Dickens was.
Oh, there's a couple people. There's a couple people that I would love to meet that I have not got to meet yet.
Mhm.
And one of course is Marty Stewart. I've gotten to meet Connie 3 different times and hang out with her, but I have not got to meet Marty Stewart. I would love to meet him because Dale knows him from way back and all
Right.
that, but I really want to meet him. And I also, another name that you don't hear much anymore, but I loved him. I still love. We were listening to him on the way to Nashville. I was like cranking it up. Ricky Van Shelton.
Ricky Van Shelton. Sure,
Remember
great guy.
I loved him. I loved all of it. Got the radio blasting, got the windows rolled down. I loved his voice, but the song, the Keep It Between the Lines. Oh my God, I'm like goosies and crying going down the road. Me and Dale both were crying because he was like,
Wow.
well, what's your favorite Ricky Van Shelton song? I'm like, Keep It Between the Lines. And I'm like, I'm playing it, and of course, me and him's just wiping. Because he's very sentimental like me, so we're just wiping. I'm like, see, that's what a good song is.
Right. Well, Working Girl Blues, love that record, and of course, Leona's on there, right? Tell us about that. How did you hook up with Leona? I know you're very close with her too, right?
Well, and at the time I wasn't. At the time, this is before anybody even knew that Dale and I were even an item. Dale had turned me on to listening to Leona's music. I had never heard of her.
Really?
And no. And I started listening because I always sang working man, but I never played it in the show. But when I heard her do Working Girl, I'm like, oh my gosh. And every song she did, it was like goosies. I mean, there's not many people give me goosies, but Leona Williams, she gives me goosies every time she opens her mouth. But anyway, so I started doing Working Girl Blues at my live shows. I just loved it. And, our ties with Merle, everything just kind of, it seemed right. It felt good,
Right.
And so anyway, so I had this vision in my head because I'm recording the Unleashed album, and I'm like, I'm going to do Working Girl Blues. I'm going to re-record it. I said, but I'm not going to re-record it if I can't have Leona on it with me. So Dale was like, well, do you want me to reach out to Leona and see if should? I'm like, no. I'm going to reach out to Leona, and I want to see, because if she's going to do it, I want her to do it because she hears my voice and she wants to do it with me. So of course I reach out to Leona, tell her what I'm doing. She writes me back and says that she would be honored to, that she would love to do it. And oh my God, I just was tickled to death to have her on there. I mean, because I love her so much. And I never realized how much our relationship would grow over these last few years. But anyway, so I met her in the studio and she was on board, and I'm like, okay, I want to get somebody else. I want to, the third. And so my producer at the time, Bill McDermott, says, well, I'm going to reach out to Pam Tillis. She's my friend. I'm going to reach out to Pam and send this to her, this hard, rough track to her, and see if she'll be interested. I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there going, gosh almighty. Because at that time, I had never worked with anybody, I was sitting there going, what if she says yes? Oh my God. But what if she says no? So anyway, so I'm literally driving, coming back from picking Cash up from school, and I get the call, and Bill, my producer at the time, he said, Lee, he said, I got a call from Pam, and he said, he says, nothing the way you sing. He said, I just thought that it would take her longer. He said, he called within like 30 minutes and said, yes, I'm on board, and then, of course, Dale got Leroy Parnell to come and add the slide guitar, and Eugene Moles and Joe Reed, who played with Merle Haggard, put the Bakersfield sound on it, and the track is jammed up. I know Merle is like looking down going, boy, she is jamming that song, because it is the whole thing. Having Leona and Pam was the
Oh.
perfect mixture. And I mean, when I was in the studio with Pam and I was doing harmony on top of hers and she was doing harmony on me, I thought I would have never in a million flipping years ever imagined that I would be singing with Pam Tillis in the studio. And then what made it really cool was the night that I recorded with her, we went over to the Troubadour. We were getting ready to fly to Mexico the next day.
Oh, wow.
The Troubadour the night before, and I got up on stage and sang with Mel Tillis Jr., her brother.
Oh, wow. How cool.
So it was just a cool moment. That's for sure.
Yeah. Pam Tillis, so talented. You know, last summer I got to see her on stage for the very first time. I was down in Memphis for Elvis Week, and she did, of course, maybe it was Memphis on stage. Boy, she is fantastic on stage. What a great lady, too.
Yes. A few years ago, Dale and I went up to Thunder. Oh my gosh, Country Thunder up in Wisconsin. And I was asked by Bruce Williams and Ree to co-host with Stormy Warren and them. Right. So I got to introduce all these different people, which was amazing because there was, you know, Neil McCoy and Clay Walker and Blake Shelton and just all these different people. But I got to introduce Pam and I got to introduce Terry and Susie Boggess, and they came out there in the middle of the day where a lot of people wasn't out there. Them and Neil McCoy coming out there, they stole the show for me because those three girls, though, they rocked it with the guitar. Their harmonies, they were so nice. I met Terry really close that day, and she was so nice. She's super cool.
So awesome.
The next one I want to do a duet with is Terry Clark.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Any plans to come up east, play some shows up east here in the New York, New Jersey area?
Oh, well, back in several years ago, back when I was in my late 20s, I actually got to do a few shows up in New York and New Jersey. Cool. I got to do 3 different shows with 3 original members of Leonard Skinner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Artemis. I know you worked with Artemis. I met him. A great guy.
Yes. And today's his birthday.
Yes, it is. Happy birthday, Artemis.
Birthday, Artemis. And, you know, him and I've had, it's been over 20 years now, friendship, and super, super proud to call him a friend. And throughout all these years, I've kind of sent him stuff that I've done, and he's kind of watched things that, you know, my career progress, you know, because when he first met me, you know, I was in a cover band, you know, right. And, you know, he had his tour manager reach out, and I was able to go and sing in between the original Honkette, Leslie and JoJo. I mean, I stood, you know, right in between. I mean, it was just even to have that little piece of moment history with them.
Right.
That was amazing. They called me their rookie Honkette. So I got a lot of memorabilia from that. They, you know, JoJo and I had, and if you don't know who JoJo is, go watch Sweet Home Alabama. Video where they're out in front of all those people, and JoJo's back there with the maracas, with this wild, curly, sassy look on her face, and she's shaking them maracas, and the cameraman loved JoJo. He just wouldn't. It was either Ronnie Van Zant or JoJo. Ronnie Van
So cool.
Her shaking the maracas, but it was awesome. I left from that experience coming back to my cover band feeling inferior. I was like, I gotta sing back up with them. It was cool.
That's very, very cool. And again, congratulations. Homestead coming out, 4 more days? Tell us how to pre-order it again.
Go to LeeNewtonOfficial.com, and you're going to love it. There's a lot of stuff on that website, a lot of pictures. If you go to Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, you'll see all the people that I've worked with and I've met and have helped me. But you'll see all kinds of stuff. But you'll see Homesick, to pre-order Homesick right there. And you guys are going to love it. There's a song, I'm probably going to sample it, let people hear it in the next few days, but it's called Meant to Be. It's a song that I wrote, and I'm very proud of it. So I did bring a few tracks over from the previous albums I feel like didn't get a fair shake or didn't get heard enough. So I kind of, and they fit this album. So I kind of brought a few of them over. So I'm excited. The whole package is amazing.
Yeah, so many great items on your website too. I mean, right? Not only music, but you have shirts, all pictures. You have all types of stuff.
I do, yeah, because I do a lot with the veterans, and I actually have my own coffee.
You do, yes. You were telling me about that last time. Tell us about that.
I've got my own coffee. I partnered with the Unforgotten Heroes, and Unforgotten Heroes. I met them when I did a show up with Missouri for the Lucas Oil Show Me 100. I sang there with like 10,000 people. I did a pre concert there, and they had the Unforgotten Heroes race car there. And what the Unforgotten Heroes do is they raise money to help all the heroes, all the servicemen, the Marines, the military, the police, the fire, all the ones that are not forgotten. They help their families, and and so they reached out to me, and we partnered together, and now I have my own coffee, and it's got the Unforgotten Heroes. It's I've got my guitar up in the air, which is my logo, and everybody knows how much I love coffee, so. It just made sense that I partnered with them on that. But I do a lot. I do a lot for the veterans and for the kids. That's my heart right there.
I mean, yeah, you're always so busy. What does Lee Newton do to relax?
And it's funny. I don't watch TV. I do love to paint. I have not got a chance to paint. Dale says, honey, you got to get it set back up, because that was my time to kind of relax. Now I guess my relaxing time is sitting on a riding lawnmower, mowing the yard.
Right.
So I love to cook. I'm just constantly going. My mind is always turning, twisting, and I'm doing something, but I can at least keep kind of still on a riding lawnmower, mowing our backyard, so that's my calm time.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And you're the best. Really. I always love having you on.
I love being on the show with you, Jimmy. You are truly awesome. And I just enjoy not only getting to be on here, I love watching your other interviews. You're awesome.
Well, that's a great compliment coming from you. Hey, before you go, could you do a lineup for the show? Say, hey, it's Lee Newton, and you're listening to Jimmy Deal on Celebrity Spotlight.
Hey, this is Lee Newton, and you're listening to Jimmy Deal on Celebrity Spotlight.
You are so good. It's amazing. Lee Newton, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Good luck with Homesick. I know it's going to be a fantastic album. I know it's going to do fantastic for you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Love you.
Yeah, I love you too. And please stay in touch and let me know what's going on. And if you come up this way to New York, New Jersey, please let me know. Please let me know if you have anything new going on. Love to hear about it.
We're going to have to bring the Super Chief up there.
Yeah, I want to go on the Super Chief.
You have to do the interview on the Super Chief.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be awesome. You know what? I also want to mention Dale's got a new album out, right?
Yeah,
tell us about Dale's album.
His new album, it just dropped last month, and oh my God, every song on this album. Hold one moment. Let me show you.
Yeah, Dale's got a great album.
And I will send you a copy of this. This is
his. So cool. Awesome.
There's his. Opens up. Super, super awesome. But he has a total of 11 tracks on here. Every song on this is super awesome, but you can go to his, and he's got little samples. You can listen to it or order it. It's at DaleHouston.com.
Oh, so awesome. Well, tell Dale congratulations. Love the album. And thank you so much again, Lee Newton. I really appreciate it. You're fantastic. One of my favorite country stars of all time right there, Lee Newton.
I love you.
I love you too. You know that, Lee. Thank you. Such an honor to always have you on. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. Lee Newton right there. Legendary singer, performer. Fantastic. Tomorrow night, join me here, Celebrity Spotlight. We have a special Celebrity Spotlight tomorrow night. Freestyle artist Alicia. She's from my hometown, Canarsie, where I am from. And she's going to be on the show. Of course, she's had some great hits like All Night Passion, Two Turned On, Baby Talk, so many more. And I'm so excited about having her on. And I'm going to have DJ Al Rock, who's also from Canarsie, and Tony and Di Maria, and she's from Canarsie. And we're going to talk about a big official Canarsie Brooklyn reunion that's coming up at Richmond Republic on Saturday night at 9 p.m. in Staten Island, New York. I'm going to be there. DJ Al Rock's going to be there. Alicia's going to be there. So I hope all you guys come out and hang out with us. It's going to be a fantastic time. But join us tomorrow night right here on Celebrity Spotlight. It's going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So 8 o'clock, make sure you get it on your calendar. Make some time to join me 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Alicia on Celebrity Spotlight. It's going to be a great time. Also, this week, it's been a busy week here at Celebrity Spotlight. Thursday night, Owen Elliott's going to be here. Of course, she's the daughter of Mama Cass Elliott from the Mamas and the Papas. She's going to be hanging out with me, talking about her brand new book that she wrote about her mom, Mama Cass Elliott. So that's going to be a great time. She's got a big book signing coming up, I believe, at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey. So we're going to talk about the book and the book signing. So I hope all you guys can go make plans to go out to Bookends, and you could possibly meet her out there, and she'll sign it and get a picture with her. And so that's going to be a good time. So join me for Mama Cass Elliott's daughter. Her name is Owen Elliott. She'll be here Thursday night. We'll do that one at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. And we have another Celebrity Spotlight coming up next Wednesday. It's the 24th. It's Carol Connors is on the show. She's a singer. She has got a brand new book as well. It's called Elvis, Rocky, and Me. She dated Elvis Presley for a while. She co-wrote the Rocky theme song, Gonna Fly Now, that you hear all the time at the beginning of the Rocky movies. And so she's going to be here, and she's going to talk about her career and her brand new book. And so I'm excited about having her on the show, and a lot more surprises. We're going to take a little break, a couple of weeks for the summer, and then we're going to come back with a lot more celebrities. I even have on deck a big surprise possibly coming up within the next month or so here on Celebrity Spotlight. I really can't say who it is, but I'll give you a little hint. There's a bat signal over the studio right now at Celebrity Spotlight. So that's the only hint I could give you. But anyway, we got a lot more great people on the way. Cindy, the producer, doing a great job tonight. Of course, Carl Limbo, my good friend Carl, who's out there. Tom Payton's out there. So many great people listen to the show. My mom out in Canarsie, Brooklyn. Who else? Beryl in Virginia, of course. So many people listen to the show every single week, and every time we do the show, it's great to see all the same people that come back and listen all the time. I really do appreciate that, and we get a lot of new people too. So thank you for listening. If this is your first time listening to Celebrity Spotlight, welcome. Got a lot more great shows on the way. Join us. It's always a lot of fun, very informative, a lot of great people. So please join us for all the Celebrity Spotlights that are on the way. I want to wish everybody a fantastic evening. I will catch you tomorrow night with Alicia right here on Celebrity Spotlight. It's going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Make sure you join me for that. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and I will see you tomorrow night.